Reality on the ground, real people, real issues. We're coming to you live, of course, from this side of Wakiso. And today it's another day. SACCOs and cooperatives actually are celebrating a couple of, milestones this week. I understand they were donating blood yesterday, and a couple of cooperatives in the country are celebrating. Well, cooperatives are saying they need to be revamped. They need government support, and not only that, they need a lot more structures to be placed in place to make sure that the money is safe. Let me tell you how it works. You and I, we can actually meet, and when we make a group and we have this money, we create a pool of money. Now that becomes public money. Now that's where government comes in to see that it's managed well, it's handled well. And that's the reason we're here today to discuss SACCOs. I'm in Wakiso, and where I am, it's called the Next Textile. Nakem's Textile. It is a place where it's a community SACCO, but these guys are so phenomenal. They have started their own textile, and you can see they have uniforms. This one is of Honest Junior School. See? It's a courtesy of a SACCO. We have a lot of youth in the country who have been lamenting around time and again. But you have seen some SACCOs that are fighting poverty, like this textile here. There is a lot more work here, as we're going to be discussing. And all this comes in shape, like how a SACCO is going to be handled. In this financial year, there was a suggested tax on SACCOs, but hey, the government was, a little bit enlightened, and they said no. So you are in a SACCO. What have you done as your SACCO? And today, where I am, I have a couple of people here. Haji Jangu to Nyumemukoano. Sawa jebaleko. Kalisebo. Ono Haji Haji Chironde. Haji Chimela Mustafa. Haji Chimela Mustafa. All right, Haji nga tutunyumya ku mbeera eno mbadde njagala twogere tulabye ebintu ebiri wano eno. Njagala tufune light ya textile yonna. Mwenga SACCO ekintu kino kyatandika kitya?
Ekino kyatandika mu luvannyuma lw'okubanga abavubuka bangi bamaze okukola emirimu, bamaze okusoma nga tebalina mirimu. Twasalawo okuteekawo ekibiina ekyokusobola okujigiriza abantu emikono. Twakizuula nti abaana abamaze okusoma tebalina mirimu, tebakola, nosalawo tuteekewo kampani etunga. Twama okizuula nti buli mwana asoma wano ku ssomero uniform atunge, ayambala esweta, ntwabanga akatale tuyinza okukafuna.
Kituufu.
Era twamaliriza okubanga tutandise okukola ki okutunga
ekintu nkyagadde mutunga kugamba abaana mubaleze nti emirimu gisobola okubeerawo, naye kyali kyangu kitya okubanga mutandika okupuulinga resources? Obwesigwa bwatandikirawo butya? Mwatula mukyukola komiti okutandika SACCO zammwe zino?
Kati nga nze nali nakazaddewo ekintu kino, twalina abaana abamaze okusoma bangi, bakwano gw'abaana bange, abavubuka abatasobodde kusoma kweyongerawo waggulu nga naye basobola okutunga. Tubali tulakwatako ntubayigiriza okutunga wano, era tuba tusuubira okuba nti tujja kufuna gye bujjaawo, twakufuna ekifo ekigaziko okusinga kino, okusobola okutungira abantu, okusomesa abaana basobola okusoma ebyemikono. Oba omwana tusobola kusoma Luzungu naye ng'ataasobola okuyiga okutunga. Okutunga tukwetagisa kusoma Luzungu.
Kya mu mutwe, kya mu mikono.
Kya mu mikono, so kikwala n'okisomesa omwana wo n'ayiga bulungi okutunga. Bangi nnyo abatunzi nga tosobola kubanga basoma.
Kituufu. Tutunulire ku bibiina mu Uganda, obadde mu bibiina eby'enjawulo w'otuukidde okukola ku myaka egyo. Haji, gwolowooza ebibiina ki ekisinze okusuula ebibiina bino eby'obwegassi eby'okwekulaakulanya naddala mu ggwanga Uganda?
Ekisinze okusuula ebibiina by'obwegassi tuvudde ku bantu abatalina bwesigwa. Ebina bitandika nga bitumuka, bituka ggulu ne bifuna bannanyini byo bennyini babirya.
Bo bennyini?
Balya ebirolusayimu ne bazifula nga zaabwe, ne bakifula nga kya busuubuzi. Kyese nnyo ekibiina okugwa naddala okwegatta kw'abantu kutannyo okwawukana ku lw'ebigambo by'ensimbi.
Olowooza kino tekiva nti tewali structures ziri clear nti ono ye chairman, ono ye muwandiisi, ono ye muwanika waffe, ebintu ebirowooza si bisinga obuvaako obuzibu?
Ebiseera bisinga obungi oyinza okwesanga nga manager yakola nga chairman, manager ayinza okuba nga ye muwanika, kati nga tuwaliwo abalirira kumanya muwanika kiki nga yeyebalirira yeyekola buli kimu. ekintu kirese obuzibu bw'amaanyi
obukiiko bwe tetubukyusa nti tugambye nti gundi agenda fuga omwaka gumu ne gundi atambuzeemu ekintu kino SACCO tulabe engeri gyegejja.
Ebiseera ebisinga obungi abannannyini SACCO okutwalira awamu nti batera nnyo okuba nga bovaroolo. Kati bw'aba nga yovaroolo yalonda ono tosobola kuba nga akyusibwa.
Amaanyi ekitegeeza twabeera constitution y'amaanyi kyekisinza osuula ebyina mu ggwanga. Well, there you have it. Aj makes it a much more clear point here is that, well, most SACCOs in the country fail because they have no structures. They have no validation of who does what. At times, the mobilizers to start a SACCO at the very initial stages, they become the overall. They have everything. Everything runs about them. Everything rotates around them. Aji tudde mundeno tunyumyeko ne bana abantu abalala nyabo nengede wano mukyala nyabo gye baliko bakuyitaani. Nakamanya Shakira. Obulungi bwa SACCO obulabyewa.
Actually, ekintu kino tukifunyeemu nnyo okusingira ddala abaana abato abavubuka. Obatunuulira nga wajja eno n'akola osanga nga byakoze mu butuufu byetaaga eggwangu biraba. Naye tetuba exposed. Twekweka eno ewala.
Lwaki mwekweka? Kimwekweka?
Kubanga tetulina sources zetutuusaayo. Oluusi ogenda ogamba mbu oba tugende ku TV nga kyetaaga mu ssente. Ng'ate oluusi temukola ki temuziina kugamba nekitukaluubiriza nga ffe abavubuka.
Ng'abavubuka. Gw'olowooza abavubuka abatannatandikawo SACCOs abalinda kwegamba okufuna emirimu gye muyita white collar jobs ez'omu ofiisi oyinza bagamba ki kati gwe ng'ejjo ofunye mu bwegassi buno?
Actually tebalinda kunoonya mirimu kubanga ekyo ekintu kizibu otuuka mu ofiisi ng'oli yajjula dda n'onoonya because me I experienced that after campus. Nenoonya emirimu up to when I sat down ne ngamba manyi kankole mu kino ekiriwo. Naye mu butuufu nkifunyeemu kati abavubuka abaliyo bonna bandyegasse bo nga bo n'otandikawo akantu akatono ogenda nga kageja mpola ng'era omuvubuka ekintu tekigenda kukwatayo kigamba nze natandika bwenti naye nkutte no. Naye era kigenda kutandika slowly by slowly ogenda nga otandisa okifunamu.
Olowooza abavubuka ku mampaati ge balina n'ebbugumu lye balina ebibiina bino basobola obirwaninga bonga balina structures?
Actually kisinziira ne ku management. If you get a good manager era ogenda olabanga ekintu kikutteyo. Naye w'osanga nga muvubuka ante manager ante mugayaavu munafu biki era ogenda olabanga era kigudde. Kati all in all mwebuze ku bantu abakulu. They are very big people out there and they are willing to help. So I think woba bakutte n'obatwala mu bavubuka abo b'oba ofunye okola ne bafuna big management ng'asookerako top most asobola okikwasaganya kyonna ky'oba otunuulidde kuba manager omulungi era yakola structure ennungi.
Absolutely. Kati gwe ng'omukyala njagala kutunuulira ng'omukyala obadde mu kibiina bwe kiti kikuyambye you've learned a lot. Abakyala abasinga mubeera n'obubiina bino obwo ssente zammwe zino muziregisteringa mufaayo okugulawo akawunti bwemussa oba oli mu kino ekya eno wiiki Nakamanya yafuna eri wiiki Nabachwa yafuna eri wiiki Mala yafuna?
Not really. Actually we open twagulawo account in Centenary Bank. Kati ffe kye tukola wano eno weekly sente tuzitereka weekly. You find ng'ogamba nti kati ekyuma kino kirina okuddako sente. Kati n'omanya nti ku account ngenda nkeberayo as a treasurer. Ogenda n'okeberayo then n'omanya nti this thing and this thing can do this and that. Kati ogenda okwekanga ng'era sente ziddamu mu company at the same time zifuluma like that.
So, dirwe mutula ne reviewing bwe mutuuse as a SACCO, as a team, ne mugamba, okay, this is how far we have come, this is how far we need to go?
Actually, normally tutula ku Mondays, sometimes Fridays. It depends how busy people are. Kubayinza okwesanga nga Monday, Tuesday, kwegamba the whole week is fully occupied. You can't make a meeting. Kati ogenda okusanga nga meeting ya either postponing ku Sunday. You get it? Naye ng'omenga sure at least everyone is around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Challenges size musinga okusanga like ngamu abavubuka abalina kwegamba obwegasi bwe buti?
Challenges. First of all, it's a matter of advertising. Advertisement is becoming hard. No kunoonya market. You know, when something is new at the market, it's becoming it looks awful
Tebabesiga.
to people wagamba sure what kind of people are they nyizo ba sente zange ne bazitwala like that kati bakitwetagisa to explain more into depth.
Are the local leaders supporting you abakulira abavubuka bakansala bajja ne bayimira namwe bagamba kali tugende tuyimire namwe mu mbeera bweti?
Tebalina that behavior tebakirina ekyo.
Simwe
I've
mubalonda.
never seen them around. However tugezaako kale kulanga tubateeka mu kintu naye kikyali kizibu gye tuli kikyali kizibu ogenda omusanga nagamba mu busy today. I have a lot of schedule. You get it? Yeah.
All right, that is the challenge. Well, we are still talking about SACCOs in the country, and we are at one of that one that is actually robust. It's a youth SACCO. As you can see, they have a lot of work here. They do sweaters, they do school uniforms. There is a lot of products they can do. So while you're there lamenting that the government is not doing enough, what have you done as an individual? All right, let me talk to one of the youth here. Anderson. Agwengenda kutwala mu luzungu mwe ba leaders. You heard what she said. The leaders are not supporting SACCOs at the village or community levels. What is your make of that?
You see, some SACCOs are getting some issues because politicians themselves have their own SACCOs. You see, most of the SACCOs, even why the taxes for SACCOs did not pass through, it is because the leaders themselves, the structures, their structures are SACCO structures. A SACCO for the youth, for the women, for the elderly, because that is where those are the SACCOs they use to go through. So they have their own SACCOs that are political. They focus on more than SACCOs like these that are community SACCOs that has nothing to do with the politics. That is one of the challenges as to why such SACCOs that are community, not connected to politicians, don't get that enough exposure and experience.
Many people would actually say that SACCOs are political pundits for people to go through, maybe in LOC elections, and now that we're going to elect next week, maybe councillorship, LOC 5 and all that. How best can we tone this down that the mindset can change on ground roots?
That still will go back to the leaders. Their values must change and focus on what is important than what to the community than themselves. That is all. It's a mindset that is in politicians. Because if you come in a circle like this that is multi-ethnical, multi-political, they think on their own and they want to act on what they think they believe in, it will be hard for a politician, let me say if you are NRM or if you are DP or FDC. So it will be hard for you for a structure like this that does not totally succumb to your to what you think is right for you, for you to come and use it. But also, if SACCOs like these have been empowered, you can see we need to support cottage industries.
Yes.
We need to support those small industries that are producing what is important to the community.
Can we support them if their standards are actually below the international standards?
You see, what raises the standard is for you to realize that they need to add the value. We cannot add the value of what is not existing. Like such SACCOs need to be given the opportunity, for example, to access quality machines, to access quality materials, but also those can only be in place if they have a market. Now their market is substandard because that is what is available and that is what the community can consume. They cannot consume.
So how do we go from the community market to the bigger market?
That is where I was coming from too. Now, government and all leaders, you see, Chamagero, this is the challenge. Every day, every time the president is out, the speaker, these MPs you hear, to the America, we are in England, what do they go to do there? How do we benefit from the funds, like the airfares, the allowances, the per diem?
Yes.
How do we benefit in that? If you go to China, you should be in a position to outsource opportunities and come back, because almost all of these MPs fight. You can see that they are all sweet to the speaker because she's going to award these opportunities to go out. But you see, we cannot afford paying for such fairs where all we can get are pictures of MPs in the US, or in the pictures slaying, showing how they are on the streets, what they are drinking. That is all we can quantify into what we get from such.
Anderson, just to take you a little back, every person has come up with a SACCO. We have the washing bay SACCO, the Marua SACCO. We have. What is a clear structure of a SACCO?
Well, a clear structure, usually a SACCO is a collection of people who believe in a certain thing.
Yes.
Well, cannabis can be believing in that, but it is because we have not guided them, we have not taken an opportunity to sit down with them and explain to them what our priorities are. But anyway, what are our priorities? So their priorities will be cannabis, producing here these sweaters, others will be marwa, because that is what they believe.
Yes.
But you see, we need to calm down and scale down. But still, we need to have these priorities. And we know as a country, where do we want to face? What do we want to put together? What can we produce? And focus on that.
Do you
organize people in that line?
Do you see SACCOs as a leeway to development and prosperity for a nation like Uganda?
There is no country that has grown without people coming together.
Yes.
When you come together, you share ideas, you share efforts, you share everything you have. And that can be maximized at a greater extent. If these ones are working on sweaters, and in the next room or in the next village, people are producing gomeses. In the next thing, people are working on producing candles or plastic. And the other, like everywhere, like these several cottage industries, you realize that people in Kampala will no longer have to go and import ready materials.
Yes.
They will not have to even create our own brands. We can make jeans and maybe call them. Yes. We can have these T-shirts produced by our own here, other than going to China, but also even lowering the cost of accessing such products.
Right
So
there,
it's
when you say that accessibility of materials and all that, I think that's the biggest challenge they're facing here. How best do you think can government come in play?
There is only one. It is we need to encourage the production of cotton. That is to begin with.
Mwatuzamo pamba na vanilla.
Two, but you see, pamba mulungi, vanilla mulungi. But it's because we don't have focused leaders. We don't have people who don't care. You hear anyone is in a position. You see people passing a tax in parliament, and they saying, "President, ye yachireta." But yachireta mwe mwakola ki? What was your discussion? At least we have yachireta instead of 200 shillings. You say, you propose 50. Mugambe twagezaako yaleta bibiri ne tugamba 5. But we need people who collective responsibility. You are here trying to help, to explain what is happening outside here. If anyone else has a leader, picked interest, and they came here and they said, now I have lobbied for a school in Karamoja. Can you start producing for us sweaters? So these people will get the market, the youth will get the money. Collective responsibility. So if we don't collectively accept that we have a challenge of unemployment, we have a challenge of production, we are facing social media taxes simply because you have a big chunk of the young people who are not in production, whose efforts are seated in pool tables, in betting centers, in trading centers, typically discussing nothing.
There is a mindset on the village level, still community level, from the women. Back in the early 2000s, it was called Nigina, where they would actually meet and, they contribute. Then there is another one, which is annoying, where this week we are giving Brother Anderson, next week we are giving Chamagero, the other day we are giving Giga, the other day we are giving Dan. Do you think all these are SACCOs, or they are just mediocre kind of SACCOs?
One, they are mediocre because you cannot show after at the end of the day the 200 you got. How can you account for it? You give me my 200 in the next I'm in the bar in the night, and we have tried to discourage that. One, we started an investment club. It is called Fortune. Now what we do in Fortune is to encourage savers. We encourage you to have what you put aside at the end of the day, but also to have these different people who save from different categories, with an effort of saying that at the end of the day, if we give you the money you have saved, what are you going to do with it?
You follow it as a team.
We follow it as a team. Even when you bring your proposal and we find it shallow, we can say, no, what the sentence is so, netulowooza byogendo zikozesa si byamagezi. We want to encourage people to start businesses. You come up with an idea, it is furnished, it is given priority,
Yes.
and we follow it up. So that, because even we can't keep narrating, we have companies that don't see their first birthday,
Yes.
their first year birthday at the end of that day. But you see that there is an effort to start.
Yes.
But where it comes that there is no one that follows up.
Financial literacy. And
Yes,
all that.
financial literacy. No one follows up. And this usually, it would have been the effort of leaders to tirelessly come to terms with the people, monitor what is happening in the next parish, what is produced here, what are we getting here, what can we do with these people.
You've been in Wakiso, and these people are actually in Wakiso. Where do you think, what leaders do you think need to actually come in play? Are they the LOC 1? Are they the councillors? Are they the LOC 5? Who needs to be in play?
You see, what puts all these decentralized structures is to create that kind of monitoring. LOC 5 has a bigger coverage. It has a full district. It will be hard for him to know what is happening in this zone.
Level, yes.
But there is a chairman of LOC 1, there is a councillor of that parish, there is a councillor to the district and to the sub-county. These are all aimed at connecting each other. Pick an idea, put it to the parish or to the sub-county. The sub-county can forward it to the district. And where the district feels that it cannot absorb that idea, it can place it to the national level.
Yes.
That's how we can only create linkages. But still, you see that programs are coming from top down. Because
is it a right approach, up to down?
It's a wrong approach.
What could be the right approach?
The right approach is people should, up to the top should be absorbing what is
What's
coming
coming from
from
down?
the bottom. Not you thinking that now we have domestic violence project, we are going to borrow money to sensitize people to stop beating their women. That is a role that can be played. Still, it is an economically motivated activity.
Yes.
Where a man comes home, devastated, and all you can resort to is to slap you so that tomorrow you don't bring that nonsense again. But if we can come from down and say what can we absorb from bottom, then we feed it to the top. The top then can know how to equitably address such a challenge. But if we say that tugenda kuva waggulu nga tuleta project, that's why everything is a project. Youth livelihood project.
SACCOs is Anderson. Most of the SACCOs come from Ministry of Gender, Ministry of Labor, from State House as well. They say we started this SACCO, the president gave this much money, and we don't have accountability over the years. How best do you even think this is right?
The approach is what I am telling you. I will give you an example of youth livelihood program. In youth livelihood program, all you have to do is to come together as 10 to 15 people.
Yes.
And you can only access less than 10 millions
Yes.
or less than 12 millions. Sometimes some get 7 millions. But you can see that such a machine will cost you more than that money. But you're getting together 10 young people who are energetic, who have needs, and you're giving them 10 millions to earn and pay back
This kind of machine.
that kind of machine.
Yeah.
Now, if you make a lot of money, you can make around 10 million, like 1 million. That is if your project is lucrative. Now, 10 million, you're 10 people or 12 people. How much are you going to share? On top of that, you have costs.
It is
You have
not
to pay
feasible.
electricity, you have to pay all the bills. Okay, now we remove 20,000 from each of you to pay the bills. You have to pay back the loan in 1 year. Let's say we give you deduct 10,000 from each of you. At the end of the day, you have 60,000.
That's a viscous cycle of unemployment, right?
So it is a youth livelihood. You see, livelihood itself is about, can you pay your bills?
Yes.
Can you have where to sleep? Where to sleep does not depend on whether you deserve to be there or not.
yeah.
Oba nyumba ya mitwale ebiri, oba ya mitwale esatu webase. We cannot continue focusing on livelihood. We are in a competitive world.
So how
our
do-
needs are enormous.
So how best do you think government can support SACCOs
Now-
and cooperatives from village? I need it from village levels because nze mfanyo ku muntu wa wansi.
Yes.
How best can government come into play?
I will give an example like this SACCO, that
Yes.
is a community SACCO. It is already in place.
Yes.
All it needs is a little more money to be added.
Yes.
give them the mandate. Now, if you add the money here, you will increase production.
Yes.
When you increase production, even the chain of production increases. You have marketeers, you have distributors, you have more people knitting, you have this one doing that. That means even the taxes are going to increase because Yaka is going to shoot, water is going to shoot, people are going to buy food and lunch. So the town council will bring a license,
Yes.
VAT will increase, meaning you actually even increasing the tax base.
Of the country, yes.
Still, it's a place that is in establishment like this. They have experience. So when they bring someone, in addition of adding an income, they add a skill.
Yes.
So if one day I said that I'm going to leave this place, I go with a skill that I can go and duplicate somewhere else.
Yes.
And I also employ people. But the approach of saying, you come together, chapati seekers. And chapati seekers come together and we give you money. People have no experience.
Yes,
they have no skills.
Yeah.
They have no financial literacy. They have nothing at all. And still they have different interests. He could be a chapati seeker who is a mulombe or border, but for purposes of coming together, so that money ends up getting to waste, and you have invested a lot of money.
So you think government should not give out brown envelopes to SACCOs of that sort? No. The approach needs to come down to the community. They do a feasible study, who needs the money, and something of the sort.
Yes.
Wow. Well, there you had Anderson made it much more elegant. We're still reality on the ground. We're looking at SACCOs in the country. This is one of the success stories of SACCOs. They have machines. A lot more is working. Nyabo, do you have something you'd love government to do for you as a woman in SACCOs?
Yeah.
Like?
For example, the government should at least decrease the taxes.
Chinasoboka, but they have
It
already.
is possible. It is very much possible. For example, for us, normally we could market using internet, social media. You put something on WhatsApp and someone likes it, then ugenda okwekanga kubide kasimu. No marketing. And it is becoming hard. It is becoming very hard. Kubanga olina okusasula omusolo gw'ebibiri. Ate otaddeko data you get.
Mobile money na ye?
Yeah,
Sente
mobile money.
zakuweereza ezigula.
Exactly. Katsenga mukama. Or we should pray how, I don't know, but the government at least should believe it.
Oh yeah.
Chamagero tuwa aba investors tax holidays.
Bidiko yafuna 15 years.
Yafuna 15 years. Nejjukira waliwo kampani emu y'amasimu sijja jjogera. Yafuna tax holiday nejja nekola ebbanga lya tax holiday bwe lyali liggwayo netunda kampani. Ne bagiwa omulala naye ne bamuwa tax holiday. Eno negenda. Kati nono agenda kukola atuuke ebbanga tawa musolo atuuke naye atuuke nga agira naye atunde. But still they just change management. They remain the same company or even baguna tax ne basharinga shares. Yes. Company nesigala ng'ekola ki. But you see something like this. Ne bweba district olaba bw'osimba wali akapande the next door wa license abeera wano tonabakola wakateekamu kakapitoko wakakola ki tonabana kuba wa license ayagala ezize. So these people abali ku byalo bano nabo beetaaga tax holiday. Omugavumenti waakiri tukuwadde omwaka osooka okole tulabe. No, you will tax me at the end of the day whether I survive or not. It is none of your business. I will only see you at the day of collecting your taxes. You come here on 1st July, I will see you again 1st July. You don't know how I have been working. You don't know the challenges I am going through. You have even never came back to know but why. Omwaka ogujja nkomawo okukima license endala. Naye okola otya? Wetaaga okumonitaringa omanye nti mwezi gy'omusolo bo bayimiriddewo batya. Naawe nga district opulaninge nti kusinziira ku bantu bange bwe tuba twakwinkuruizinga taxes locally collected revenues, we need to keep monitoring and arrest their challenges. Begaba masanyalaze, we need to negotiate, we need to interact. There is an interaction that is missing from our leaders and the general public.
There you go. Anderson makes it much more clear. Our leaders are detached, but SACCOs are trying. As she says that she was using social media to market what the SACCOs actually do. Not only that, she says she would get payment via mobile money. Now, all these have actually been sabotaged by the new tax. Well, that is reality on the ground, and Mala will be engaging another expert about SACCOs here. But you as a youth, before you lament, before you say a lot is lost, you can actually team up with your friends, and you can actually have something far better.